Also this week was the third Avatar Fighters beta.
Open beta.
Mm-hmm. Open beta, but pre-order required. So open for if you
open-ish
beta.
beta.
Openish beta. Yeah.
Hey, I have a question.
Yeah.
Because I saw people. I have not put hands on it myself, but I did see people talking about it. Do you believe that game is too hard for casual Avatar fans?
This is the discourse that is coming to today's episode, and this is why I bring it up. We'll get there.
Is that game f***ed up?
It is very f***ed up, right? It is very f***ed up.
Answered it straight up.
It's extremely f***ed up, and it rules. Here's what's up, right? There should be different types of games for everyone that likes different types of fighting game. There should be games.
I agree with that.
Right? You need to offer all kinds of ingredients when it comes to how tasty this genre can be. And this one in particular is like, what ceiling? There is no ceiling. Your human limitation is the only ceiling.
Got it.
So
because when I saw what they were doing for Azula,
yes,
like Azula is a mandatory 2-character.
So let me talk about that, and I want to. This is why I'm bringing it up, because before getting into the FGC-ness of how hard it is to do combos or whatever, that's not as interesting to our audience as the cool lore implications of how they implement they work on the characters. Because last time I talked about this, I talked about how sick the systems with God damn it, my brain is just awful sometimes.
You're good, man. You're good. You're strong.
Zuko's honor system is incredible. It's such a cool design where you create a system in the game that, to recap, it encourages the player to use all of their meter, all of their chi, and burn themselves out. And after they burn themselves out, they gain back redemption, and redemption makes you a little bit stronger as a character. And if you burn yourself out again, or if you exhaust yourself again, you level up your redemption meter. You get better and better each time you burn too hot, right? Resembling the character's arc in the story, where you are somebody who's impulsive and nuts and just fucking goes to the end, and then you have to calm that shit down, and then you come back better than you were before. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I also shouted out the system they have on Korra, where Korra has the ability to do a running round start drop kick that leads to an insane combo. And if you land a first hit with giant dragon punch kind of reversal attack that is just an insanely ballsy move to do, and you don't get hit first, you get rewarded for it. The game's like, awesome, you're playing like Korra. She's rash, she's also impulsive, she goes in. She does not have any chill whatsoever. You need to play this character with no chill, and the cost of doing so is burning through your chi, right? She can extend a lot of her moves and do crazy damage to you, but she then gets super burnt out as a result, you know? So the game is like, play her the way she acts in the show. There's a lot of the stuff with Toph. Toph is super duper awesome. She's like my fucking favorite. She's armored, she's got her rock, she's got her grab, she's got all this cool shit as she's earthbending. And yeah, Sokka has a move where he slips through your legs and hits you from behind.
Oh, I saw this, yeah.
And it makes him invisible because it's a blinding move. But if you do it on Toph, it doesn't work because she's already blind, idiot.
Why would it work? Why would it work?
Right? So, and he's already doing tons of great stuff. Water Tribe. he's a perfect mixture of like the times where he's being cool, but then all his goofy shit as well. You know, the functional Dan, if you would. So they did a great job with all that. And when it comes to Azula, her implementation into the game is one of the most creative, interesting things I've seen with a fighting game character. Because just building her up from the lore from Avatar, she's a character who comes in with a focused mode where she is the Azula you know from most of the show, and she can do tons of. She can play around in the air. She can dash in and dash out. She can keep away. She can hit you from a distance, and she can rush you down as well. She can do it all. She has very low health, but in exchange for that low health, she's like Akuma. In exchange for that low health, she can just fight in a ton of different ways. And she also has the lightning, which is her super, which is unblockable unless you are somebody
playing as Aang or Zuko or later Iroh,
who are the only ones that can catch that shit and deflect it. If you're Zuko, you catch it and deflect it. If you're Aang, you catch it and you shoot it upwards. Right?
That's great.
Yeah! Really great. So they actually fucking did it, right? Then, with her, the way she plays, if you lose a round, she's no longer focused and she goes into Fire Lord mode where the hair comes down, she gets the crazy look in her eyes from the end of the show and is just go fuck yourself, rush down, nonsense, insane batshit style.
And turns into a completely different character.
She loses a bunch of her moves and what's left becomes way better. She loses a bunch of her air mobility, but what's left becomes stronger. And
so here's my question, because this is the most interesting thing that could be. Is the first version of the character better, but only if you have super, super high execution?
Yes.
That's perfect.
So
if your execution is fucking perfect and on lock, you won't lose a round, so you don't play as the second version.
The focused version of Azula is harder to play and requires better execution and better focus to play her.
That's ideal. That's literally like a fantasy of the way the character should work.
And if you lose a round, fuck it, I don't care anymore. Anything to win. It's the coolest shit I've seen. It's
you
really
go from
great.
A super technical character into full-on soul bad guy gorilla mode.
That's it. Dragon install conditional on round loss. And the game already has its own built-in system of like you get extra meter on round loss as well. So then you get access to your level 3s only on second round. Mm-hmm. People have said that like there's a character Vlav who like played like this from Melty Blood. And that
but who would even know about that?
Well, so there in terms of just like, you know, systems of the character changes between rounds, like there's sources like that. In terms of just like like diegetic, just really perfectly lore accurate the character fantasy, to use the word, right? This is some of the best I've ever seen. Thinking about what the characters are and who they are lore-wise and turning that into gameplay, fucking phenomenal. And if you're somebody who's actually like, okay, that's too much for me, I don't want to actually learn how to use two characters. So everyone has a variation list they can pick from one of three styles. And if you're Aang, for example, you pick Appa, and you get one series of like air or cancels from that. Or if you pick his little buddy, the little monkey, I forgot. You get a better air control and better air gliders, right?
Why can't I remember the little monkey man name? Oh, weird.
So you get all these different support characters that change your style pretty significantly. Momo,
that's it. Yeah.
You get these support characters that change your style pretty significantly, and it reflects, you know, who the trainer was or what they taught you. What this character did for the playable character in the show is in the philosophy of that support, you know? Mm-hmm. When it comes to Azula, you can pick her main mode, which is that allows you to do the systems I described, which is you lose the first round and then you switch over. Or her two other supports are Judy from Ba Sing Se, which is the smiling lady that says there is no war in Ba Sing Se.
Yeah.
And she's like, everything's fine. Everything's great. I'm totally okay. And that forces you to stay in focused mode no matter what. Right? There is no Fire Lord. I'm all calm. Everything's totally fucking great. Yeah. Or you pick the mirror. and the mirror replaces the background character with just the giant mirror from Azula's room that's broken with a reflection of her mom in the glass.
Okay.
And that is what sits where your support character would be. And when that mirror is on the screen, you are always in Fire Lord mode.
Okay.
Isn't that awesome?
It is.
That's super cool. Everything about that is a phenomenal attention to detail for this great implementation of the character. Fucking sick. So now, with all that fun stuff, the game getting hands-on for this third round, just like I reported in previous versions, it is unforgiving and asks a whole lot if you are trying to be stylish. If you want to do the crazy combos that you see people that are, pro players are doing, the sky is the limit. And it is there was a moment where,
do I want the sky to be the limit?
I know a whole lot of players who do, because they haven't been able to do so in 20 plus years, right? This is like, and this is the thing about the sky being the limit, is that it's up to the player how far they want to go. It's up to you how far you want to take it. But if you're somebody who enjoys pressing buttons, and we say this term a lot in like fighting game stuff, but what that really means, when you hear someone say, you love to press buttons, or I really love pressing buttons.
Look at this guy pressing buttons over here.
Yeah, it means you like doing complex things, and you enjoy like not being passive when you play. You enjoy literally more actions per minute. If you want better APM or higher APM requirements for when you play. People who are, people who play characters like Crimson Viper, people who want to do El Forte's Run Stop Fierce, hitting buttons, go, right? Versus the slower Samurai Showdown-esque player that is going to go for a wait and counter hit and then do your thing and then chill for a bit, right? No lane. You don't pick Honda because you like to press buttons.
No, man, you pick Honda because you like to hold down the fuck back.
So what you get with a game like this is a really clear return to what older combos used to be. And to get a little more technical, after Street Fighter 4 came out in 2009, that game had one frame links, which is essentially you have to sometimes manually time one.
It's for psychos.
Yes,
it's for like.
You have
fucked
to
up psychos.
You have to time. It's one frame of 1/60th of a second. You have to manually time the button presses to have that amount of space to perfectly continue your combo. Right. It's doable with a lot of practice and muscle memory, but it's extremely hard to do, and especially under duress when somebody's trying to hit you or beat you in a tournament or just fight, whatever. It's hard to do. Yeah. It's hard to do in training mode when no one's bothering you, much less when you're in the middle of a fight. But some people really love that. Some people are all about that. The Marlon Pies of the world, designing the more complex characters for 2XKO.
Marlon, just stop it. Just calm down.
Love that type of thing, right? Sako is another player from back in the day that used to just go crazy doing really advanced shit with Cammy and going nuts. People who love doing it long, crazy combos and long, demanding things. This game, what I was saying was that after Street Fighter 4, that was the last time that they kind of said, okay, one frame links are going to be in the game, and these are how you do some of the more advanced combos. They made it so that starting with Street Fighter 5 and a number of games afterwards followed suit, 3 frames is the smallest amount of time that you're going to have to be able to.
And sometimes they throw a buffer on that even then.
Yes. And 3 frames is much more doable, right? It's still tricky.
I can do 3 frames.
But you can do some practice, you can get it in your system, and after playing for a regular amount of time, you can do 3 frame links and not have an issue with it. So that has been the case with a lot of modern fighting games, because in the quest for being more accessible and for being like something that people who are beginners can get better at quickly, they made it so that these requirements were lower. And it's a subtle small thing that like you don't feel at beginner level play, but you do feel it at intermediate and above.
I would say at me and you who are like, I would say are intermediate and above,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Once I got to that range, like playing something like, Street Fighter 6 or 2XKO, I'm like, oh, I can practice these combos in an afternoon and do them instead of blowing a whole weekend trying to get this run stop fierce shit going on and just fucking get nowhere.
Yes.
Like nowhere.
So sidebar, I learned about myself personally when I was playing Blanca in Street Fighter 4, and Blanca's like one of his optimized ways to confirm one of the best ways you can land his ultra on your opponent in that game is to do his crouching light kick 3 times in a row and then go into his big ultra, right?
Mhm.
And each of those light kicks and then the big ultra he does are all 1 frame links apart from each other.
Yeah, fuck that.
So you have to do 3 in a row, and I remember like that was what all the best Japanese players were doing, and that's like if you can learn that skill, you can be really, really strong with this character. And I learned it, and I was able to do it at the meetups and regularly for about 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, and then it fell off because you weren't radically practicing it all the fucking time.
And then it was gone. Yeah, I just straight up was like, okay, I have the ability to do this if I'm playing like aggressively, which people who are like trying to, play professionally and stuff are playing that level, and they're playing that often. But like taking a break, taking some time off the game, that skill drops off the fuck immediately. And I learned that, okay, I can do this, but reliably when I come back to the game, if I'm depending on this skill to win, I'm going to lose. So I need more reliable things that don't take as much of a responsibility and don't take as much skill to do. I need something that a more clear bread and butter that I can come back to and warm up to faster. Because I'll tell you, nothing feels worse than trying to do something that hard at a tournament that you've traveled to, losing because it was too hard in the moment, and now you have to fucking take a bus back home for 6 hours.
Yeah, it's I mean, this applies to any game that has any input requirements, but like for me, there's always been the balance of like, listen, this character is really good, but can I make the character really good? I don't know. Let's look. These execution requirements are pretty high.
Yes,
so I can
are.
I can play the best character in the game, but in my hands, they're like mid. Because I can't do the fucking high execution shit. And I never could. Even at like my peak of like playing fighting games all the time when I'm 22.
Yeah.
Like I did not have the execution ability to do 1 frame links.
See Street Fighter 6 Blanca and the current state of affairs, Not to mention though, that's definitely a case too of just like I fucking love this other character and she's dope as hell. But I did go and
I'm wearing a fucking Third Strike shirt, man.
Mm-hmm.
I never once got used to doing short light short to confirm things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Makoto is my fucking favorite. The best thing you can do with Makoto is
getting super hard.
Land her command grab and then go straight into her off the wall super, where she then can go straight from landing that super into building your stun meter up 100% and then landing it again. And it's very difficult
really
to
hard.
do. And I only learned how to do it properly for the first time last year when fucking Chirithi came over and showed me how to do it, and we actually went for it. Because I was like, yeah, I love this character. That shit is just beyond my pay grade.
It's one of the things that like came up. I don't know if it came up with you during the slam, but it came up to me with me at least once for both slams, when someone who's like a coach or like above is like, yeah, so you can do this. It's not that hard, and I have to stop them and be like, it for you, man.
Yeah.
It's actually super fucking hard.
Yeah.
Even for somebody like me, but playing games, fighting games since '91.
100%. And I do also have to explain, and this is something that comes up when I'm talking to Reggie often, but I'm just like, combine it with my own bad clutch, where I'm just like, I have to do repetition to get it into my brain because my ability to like improvise is lacking. I have to go extra hard until the muscle memory is in real deep, So this is all a giant tangent from the point I was bringing up, which is that one frame links were something that you know, a lot of fighting games said, yeah, we don't want to ask the player to have to do these, or we want it to be easier to do the most advanced stuff in the game. And this is a game that Avatar basically went, no, we want everything there, and if you have the ability to go that hard and do really insane high execution things, then go for it. What's interesting,
and if you can't, then hey, here's a really cool Avatar fighting game that has all these characters that you like.
Yes. And spending a little more time, you also do not have to do those combos to get decent gameplay out of it. You can do simpler combos that are shorter and do decent damage as well.
I think there's a real danger in like a lot of competitive games that you need to be a lab fiend to achieve any degree of success.
Yeah.
Which is not true. Like, and I can describe that in fighting games, but I can also describe that in shooters like Fortnite. Like, you see the people who just turn into a skyscraper as soon as they encounter a gunfight, and I can't crank 90s. Like, oh, fuck, I can't do that shit. And it's like, use your big boy brain or your big girl brain and just work around that shit. So that you don't have to do the super high execution stuff.
Yeah, you do have
to play grapplers. Just play a fucking grappler.
All heart, no brain. Yeah. The thing with it though is, if you are somebody, okay, I got to make a tangent. I was going to make a point about
you should have a notepad.
I'm going to make a note about combo scaling, but before I talk about that, when you talk about playing a character that when you're somebody who goes, I know I don't have the execution, what you have to usually do, and this is absolutely what I do, is you have to, if you are able to play a simpler character that does simpler things and to be successful with them, you have to get better at defense, right?
Yeah.
You have to get better.
But defense is boring and cringe.
Yeah. Well, if you're able to, even though you can't like do the insane combo that's coming at you, if you can block that crazy Sonic Fox mix-up that's coming at you and then land your simple but reliable counter, you can still keep up and play. You can fight. This is real, you know? The deal is, though, is that like learning to get good at defending is a whole other place to put your skill set, and you have to be willing to work on one or the other, right? Ideally both, but some people go, I'm just going to do my combo, I don't care what the opponent does, I'm going to play a one-player game all day. And then other people will go, I know that my ability to do that is limited, so like me, I'm going to work on my defense so that I recognize most of what your character is doing and how you're coming at me, and I'm going to be ready for it. And even if I don't land the optimal amount of damage, I'm going to land enough damage that this is still a real fight, you know? Okay, so to go back to what I was saying, when you do fancy, crazy, long super combos in this game, especially with a character like Azula, where she's doing Magneto loops on you in the corner.
Yeah, she's doing all sorts of, she's doing Marvel nonsense.
Absolutely. And, you know, as they do say that white boys can't play Magneto, so Ray did say that white boys can't play Magneto. Yeah. That's that's canon. That's canon. Ray said that shit. So we will see. We will see how it goes with Avatar, but I can confirm I saw Dacid Bro doing some insane shit, so I do believe white boys can play Azula. I think
that's nice.
I think that is confirmed. Right? But to do a lot of that stuff, what's interesting is the damage that you get for going crazy is definitely better than if you're doing simpler combos, but it's not so absolutely batshit out of the, you know, this world that like it makes it pointless to even bother playing. Because I was testing some stuff out with Toph, and after I played initially, got some matches in, did some locals with Reggie and stuff, I went back in and I was like, let me try to extend some of these combos to see what the numbers look like, and then let me do some simpler versions. And I found some simpler routes that were like still really, really solid, close enough damage, and the amount of execution required to extend something gave you a little bit more in some cases, but it looked so much cooler, and or it gave you better positioning.
So if, like, for example, I play a lot of 2XKO lately. I don't do anything optimized. Fuck that. I do the combos that are pretty good, and I will not drop.
Yep. Don't do that.
So I don't drop them and die.
Yep. It's But what you see here is like this, and this is like another sort of like more advanced idea, but believe it or not, damage is not everything.
It's
right?
not everything.
Sometimes in games, in matches, and at advanced play, you'll see people doing stuff that is not as damaging as it could be because they want to they want a situation that's more advantageous to themselves. You know, if they were to spend every meter they have, every moment, the second they get a touch to make you die faster, you will find that there will be situations where you are now stuck without any resources to defend yourself, and actually you left your opponent in a situation that they were able to get up quickly from, instead of one where they're in the corner and they have to guess and they're already like, they ate a combo. It wasn't as strong as it could have been, but now the fact that they get up and they're forced to guess again is a way better situation to be in, because you have the odds of landing a second combo, as opposed to spending it all and just getting a greedy chunk, but then they get back up and they're fine and they're not afraid of you. So like when you start to kind of learn about that stuff, you start to see that there's situations where some of these more advanced stuff people are doing in a game like Avatar, and in 2XKO when they do limit strikes as well, you sacrifice damage for positioning and other resources and things, you know. So all this is really nice and fun and refreshing for people that have not had a game ask them to do this in 2+ fucking decades. So it's become a big topic of discussion online, because people that are big fans of that are finally waking up those synapses that have been cobwebbed over for a long time.
It's really fascinating to me because, like, we will never have a third strike again. And to those of you who are unfamiliar with what I mean by that, as I wear this shirt, third strike parrying is a simple, on the surface, defensive option that led to new players being so utterly dominated in a way that felt so unfun and so absolutely annihilating that they fucking had one match and went, I guess that shit's unbeatable, and would leave and never fucking come back to fighting games at all. Like,
but at the same time, design wise, the beauty of the parry was that you had to put your balls in your fucking hand and walk into the attack, right?
But to guy walking up to some guy playing arcade mode in arcade, that didn't really matter much when you just get,
of course,
curb stomped like nothing else. And we'll never see that kind of, like, well, you gotta be X good at the fighting game to enjoy it to any degree, kind of, ever again.
Question. Very, very important question. Would you, the unknowledge, the beginner noob who's about to get your ass beat, would you rather get stomped out by somebody who is perfectly parrying everything you're doing, or would you rather get stomped out by somebody who's mashing kick buttons with Eddie Gordo?
I'd rather get stomped out by Eddie Gordo.
Yeah,
definitely.
What's the reasoning?
There's with Eddie, I'm like, what am I supposed to do here? There has to be a solution. And with the parrying thing, is this guy is reading my mind and I am bad. Right? I can be like, this character is busted.
Yes.
And then instead of I am bad. I'm so bad this guy can just know exactly what I'm going to do.
Yes, these observations are correct, but how do they make you feel that it chooses your decision, influences your decision?
So in one,
I agree with your exact statement.
The other, in one, I blame the character, and in the other, I blame myself. And blaming myself hurts more. I'd rather blame the character.
Oh, interesting. Because I'm completely in lockstep with you, but the difference is when I blame myself, I go, but now I can get better. And I'm motivated by that. So I love the idea that the person who they read my mind, I love the idea that I have to now think of a way outside of what they've put, the box they've put me in, because that means that I personally have an XP bar to start working on. Versus the character being busted feels like, doesn't matter how much time I put in, this character might be so busted that even if I get way better at this game, them mashing kicks is still going to be a problem. That fucking sucks. This feels like a waste of my time. It feels like nothing I do from this point. It feels like nothing I do from this point forward will change the outcome, versus the person who is better than me motivating me to want to surpass that.
I will say there is a double version of this,
And I know most people are not like that. I'm just describing why I find this interesting. It's a really
there's a
interesting
double
thing.
version of this in which both are occurring simultaneously that I have seen once.
Yeah.
And that was Blaze Blue Calamity Trigger, when you would load in and somebody would pick new 13 and just ping pong you from the ceiling to the floor from the back fucking corner.
Yeah.
And it was, this character so broken, this character so busted. And then it morphed into, I am so bad, they're reading my mind.
Yeah. Okay. Why aren't fighting games more popular? Queequeg, I don't care anymore. I'm over here having fun.
You shut up.
No. I'm
shut your mouth.
I literally don't care anymore. I'm over here again. I'm going to have fun with this, and you can come hang out and play if you want to or not. If you don't want to, that's totally cool too. But the fact that they're fun to play, and this is something that I'm like so addicted to, that little moment of like, oh shit, there's a mountain to climb here. I love that feeling so much. It gets me so excited, right? The moment that we're talking about with yeah, I mean, walking up and popping that quarter in or so, or whatever the case is, like, the other thought is, oh well, I guess I should be playing Eddie Gordo too, right? And then like
which you did for a little bit,
right? That's the other play. That's the other play in the situation, But whatever the case might be, the idea that like at least one new fighter is going, hey, this is kind of the way things used to be, and here's the weird part about Avatar as well. I don't know how balanced all of this really is.
It remains to be seen.
It feels like the answer is not very much at all.
Remains to be seen.
It feels like what they're doing is saying, fuck balance, do what is maximum fun with each of these characters. And that's also a DNF Duel philosophy, but DNF Duel repelled people for other different reasons. In this instance though, it's tapping into like just a long lost feeling, while also being an excellent representation of the characters, the lore, the bits, the things they say, the lines they have, all the little moments and stuff that really like are great for the actual, just the property Avatar. It's nailing both, and that's what is just a real success here. And I think that like just for that, it's probably gonna sit in a really healthy place, because as we all know, even as a spectator thing, even as a anytime something is really complex and has a lot of people that are doing cool shit in it, there's an appeal to people outside going, oh fuck, that seems cool, I kind of want to I want to watch that, or I want to see it, or I don't know if I can ever do that, maybe I can't. That little pocket of interest will always exist. And fortunately, if you are interested in checking it out, the game's fucking $30.
Yeah, $30 is a nice price.
It's a really nice price
for IP fighting game.
For a game people are going to be very excited to play. Like, I can see people. This is something we've talked about a while. Was like, how do you pull people off of Fightcade when you're re-releasing one of your old games?
Well, okay, I have an actual response to that, which is like, yes, that can be hard, but also the amount of people actually playing Fightcade is necessarily limited as a full-on emulator.
But whenever you're releasing an old game, people that are interested in that old game, those that your audience is up on Fightcade, right? Those are the people that you're trying to reach,
because they're sick. They're sick freaks.
In addition to some new folks, and this is the kind of thing that this is the kind of game that can pull people off. Because it's degen hours, so
yeah, this has like, there's, as you describe some of this degenerate fighting game shit, there's like just a aperitif of Sailor Moon energy on this, of just absolute, like, it's fun. Is that busted? Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
Do it. It's fun. It's fun to do.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, fucking top 5C or just Korra's dust loops is what I'm gonna call them. Korra has you in the top corner of the screen, fucking you up like Saul Bad Guy in fucking older Guilty Gear games. Like, it's crazy. So all of that is just like, and then the thought now is like, every time you think of a new character showing up, like you're like, oh, what's Aero gonna be like, or Iroh gonna be like, or Kuvira, or any of these characters. It's like you have that, like, the lore implication, and then you go, what is the degen sicko
what
mode
stupid nonsense are they gonna fucking do with this?
Right? How disgusting is what's her name, Lin Beifong?
Mm-hmm.
How disgusting is her metal whip loop pull shenanigans gonna be?
Probably Thresh-ish.
Full screen command grabbing you, get over here from anywhere, like absolute batshit wild mobility with her zip lining across the screen. But you get to think about the lore and then the most disgusting iterations possible. So yeah, this is real fun. This is real solid, good stuff going on with that. And they're
Wooly, we got to take a break in a little bit because this guy's got to go eat some food.
No problem. Just wanted to end off the conversation by saying, speaking of food, that like you want to offer something for everyone, and there's no other game currently like Avatar. So
yeah, where'd all the sickos go?
This should exist.
I guess they stayed where they were.